inspiring place to be and play. People are just friendly, open-minded. The climate is so nice, and everybody's relaxed, and there's so much to do here.
I love that Bellingham is cuspy. It's like, it's got some bigger city sensibilities. You know, we can appreciate and miss things that aren't here, that are in bigger cities, but we also we move slower, you know, we have more space. It's got a real small town closeness to it. That's what I love about it.
I just think this whole town's got a much mellower vibe.
Yeah, everyone's just it's a friendly town. I mean, no matter what, everybody's just pretty cool to each other.
People that are uptight move here and they loosen up. You know? People from here go elsewhere and can't believe how tense it is, you know.
And this is a nice little town to just hang out in.
It's nice to come home.
There's a lot more things than just the music scene to do for myself. There's a decent art scene.
Some nice sidewalks.
Yeah, there's nice sidewalks.
The summer here is really
Summer
nice.
here is like one of the best places.
The winter sucks, I swear. I almost moved out this winter, but the summer is good.
Yeah. The town dies.
Yeah, that's nice. The town dies. A lot of good places to swim.
Yeah.
There's water and mountains, trees, and a small urban setting, and it's this little Shangri-La in Washington, this little undiscovered paradise that people stumble onto, and other people that you don't like, you don't want to tell them about it because, you know, you don't want them moving up here and ruining it for you.
Bellingham's a good town for a touring band because you can go out and come back, and even if there's a bad job market, you can be a poor bastard real easy in this town. Food bank, there's
The mission.
the mission,
Sustain us for many
unemployment,
months.
there's friends' couches, basements, garages, to
Labor
rent,
ready.
Cheap, shitty houses.
cheap houses, and plenty of good people that give you food when you're a poor bastard or smoke you out.
Well, this town is full of freaks, for one, so it's just going to naturally be unique because of that.
People are weird here. There's just so many freaks in Bellingham. Bellingham's a freak show. But there's but everybody gets along somehow, and I don't know, it's very odd. I got attacked. Dig on this. I got attacked by a guy downtown, right, on Halloween. I'm dressed as the devil. It was stupid, and I said, "Oh, get out of my way." And so this guy attacks me. It knocks me down. You know, I don't fight. I've never even been in a fight. Jesus. And this guy attacks me. I'm like, "Oh, fuck you!" He pulls out a hatchet, right? He's got his face on it. Pulls out. I'm like, that's a real fucking hatchet. This guy's gonna hack me up. I'm like, oh my god, this is so fucked. I come out and the cops come to my house. They're like, did this guy attack you with a hatchet? I said, yes, he attacked me with a hatchet. So they go downtown and they say, do you have a hatchet? And he's like, oh yes I do. And they give him the hatchet, right? He gives the cops the hatchet. And the cops call me and they're like, do you want to press charges? This guy attacked you with a hatchet. I was like, no, fuck it, right? Typical, you know, just like, look at it, people get along and things will turn out all right, you know. This guy, I couldn't walk for like 3 days. The whole time I'm like, oh, that bastard. 2 days later, after that, I'm walking downtown, and this guy wanted a cigarette from me, right? And I said, no, I'm not giving you a cigarette. So he kicked my ass. But 2 days later, I'm kind of hobbling downtown, and I hear this, dude, I'm so sorry about the other night, man. I'm like, oh, shit. It's a little alcove. This motherfucker's sitting in there, all covered with a blanket. He's like, you know, it's Halloween, and you just get excited, and you get a little weird, and you just do things you regret. And I was like, no shit. And I gave him a cigarette. It took him 2 days to get that cigarette out of me. You know, it almost killed me too. I mean, that's Bellingham in a nutshell. You know, it's kooky. I don't know. It's very kooky.
That is true, though. It's like the one thing that puts Bellingham on the map
is serial killers.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like
Ted Bundy, Waterfront
and
Cafe.
fucking flavorful transients.
What do you think makes Bellingham music scene thrive?
Beer.
Beer. Definitely beer.
Beer. A lot of beers.
A lot of venues and a lot of bands and I don't know.
A lot of people that don't want to get real jobs.
Yeah. And people who want to see shows, so it's just a good combo.
It's a sense of, you want to get together and hang out with your friends. This is a great opportunity to do it, and it's fun, and, excuse to drink. Because basically we're all alcoholics here in Bellingham.
Yes. And if you're playing music while you're drinking, it's okay. Because then you're just rock and roll.
It's a college town, and there's lots of people in their
Everyone.
20s with nothing to do and a guitar.
Yeah, everyone who goes to shows and cares, everyone who plays in bands and cares, everyone.
And the better it does, the more people want to be involved. So it's kind of self-perpetuating.
We got nothing else better to do, and that's kind of a cop-out answer, but you have so many talented and passionate people with nothing else better to do and no aspirations to do anything but this. I mean, we're all fairly creative folk, and if you get enough of us together, stuff gets motivated. I mean, look at you two doing your little thing. That's great. And
little.
Yeah, well,
nice little. I like your little project you guys got going on.
Yeah.
Up here, a lot of the musicians I know, they work at a bar, or they work at a record store, and they don't work 5 days a week. They work 3 or 4 days a week, or they work half the days. And so then they have just a bunch more time to get together, more time to rehearse, enough time to be in more than one band.
That's another reason I think there's more bands around here, though, in the Northwest, too, is because it fucking rains all the time, so there ain't much you're going to do. You ain't going to go out and kick the hacky sack around. Even though I'm not really going to kick the hacky sack around, I'm going to kick people in the head that are kicking the hacky sack around, but that's just me.
Domonique and I spent countless hours at her house, watching tapes, logging tapes, capturing tapes, and editing tapes. We had over 70-hour-long tapes to go through. Dealing with all that footage made us pretty crazy sometimes.
We struggled with trying to shape a coherent story through all of the interviews and eventually realized that the interviews were story enough. We lost all of our objectivity at about month 13 of this project, so then we decided just to leave in everything that either paints the picture of the Bellingham music scene or just makes us laugh.
There is a higher level of support right now between bands than there has been before, and that's not only because the same 12 people are in the same 30 bands, which has always been true in this town.
Everybody gets to hang out with everybody else and just, you make friends with all the other bands in town, so it's pretty cool that way.
We were learning each other equipment, amps. I mean, Michael Nichols, a bass player in Delay, broke his amplifier and needed an amplifier. Was talking to Dave from Enders of Ozone, who he'd never even met before, and overheard the conversation. And Dave said, "Oh, come over to my house tomorrow. I've got an amp I can loan you." I mean, it's just that sort of a thing. And now they know each other and they make fools out of themselves when they get drunk, and it's beautiful.
I think most of the kids that are part of the scene in the town are musicians or artists.
In general, like as a community, I think Bellingham is very supportive of going to see stuff from Bellingham. Like people get really excited when there's a new Bellingham band, you know. Like a band can come from out of town and people get excited, but you know, they're like, oh, that's one of our bands, you know. It's like there's definitely a loyalty or support or something that's really cool.
Bellingham, like wherever you're playing, usually people are kind of into it. Like they move a little bit, sometimes smile.
And you can have a bunch of no-name bands and people just come out and
have a good time anyway.
Yeah, and they'll watch it.
You can pull a complete local show and it will sell out.
Yeah.
Because there's so much support here. It's amazing.
The thing that blew me away about Bellingham the most when I first moved here is the fact that people would see shows of almost opposite genres than they were into. You know, like punk rock kids would go see like something that was just acoustic and absolutely not edgy at all, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know,
when I first moved here, I saw it was more of a divided thing. I mean, I was more in that mindset. I wasn't as open to a lot of stuff as I am now, but you know, like I think that even just within bands and stuff, like the support of a widespread band supporting, you know, like a lot of different bands coming to each other's shows and stuff. I wasn't seeing that as much until the last few years, and a lot of that is like over
the last few years, the 3 years that you've been here.
It's been the best 3 months of my life.
Everyone hangs out regardless of style of music, as long as what is playing is good at what that is. Who gives a fuck what kind of music it is?